The NHL actually is voting today. The NHL Players Association is voting today on a very interesting format that I think even if you're not a hockey fan, you'll be able to get into. Just like in March Madness, if you're not a college basketball fan, you kind of get engulfed by the spirit of what March Madness is. Even if you don't like a team or don't have a team that you want to pull for and you think the basketball is better at a YMCA or an LA Fitness than what's happening on the college basketball court, when March Madness happens, you can't help but fall in love with it because there's dreams coming true. There's action. There's things to bet on. You become March Madness, which is what the NHL is potentially going to do. A 24-team playoff. The top 4 seeded teams before the quarantine would have to play for who gets what seed, and then everybody else would basically have a tournament play-in to play against the seed. Best of 5 in the first series, best of 7 probably in the second series, and then bang, we have a Stanley Cup there. The players are mentioning it as the COVID Cup. That's the way they're speaking about. You haven't heard much come out from the NHL. You haven't heard their general manager say anything stupid. You haven't heard players come out and say, no way are we doing this. This feels as if the NHL, who doesn't get talked about a lot because the sport is irrelevant in a lot of places in America. If you're from Pittsburgh, which is hockey town, you love this, which is where a lot of us are from. And this is something that I think even the casual hockey fan could get into. And it seems like this is something that is probably going to happen. Elliot Friedman and Chris Johnson are 2 highly notable reporters in the hockey world. They're saying this is how it would be set up. Pittsburgh Penguins are at 5, which is kind of a bummer. They don't get the bye in the first week, but they'll probably go on to win this entire thing. If I had to guess, that's just what the Pittsburgh Penguins do. That's why it's Hockey Town. Nick is our hockey correspondent. He hosts That's Hockey Talk. Nick, what more can you tell us about this? And why has this not been talked about at all? The NBA we've talked about. UFC's been talked about. NASCAR's been talked about. MLB's been talked about.
KBO.
The KBO's been talked about. We saw that big buff dino. The AFL, Aussie Rules Football, is coming back June 11th in Australia, June 10th in America. And the NHL has just been quietly in the night, which is normally their marketing campaign, quietly in the night, creating something that I think will be electric and will captivate a lot of people, Nick.
Yeah, I think they did as best they could to try and salvage the regular season, but with 12 games left and all those cities involved, it was just impossible. So now they've come up with this solution, which appears to satisfy everybody. A lot of people are kind of pissed it's 24. A lot of people would like to see 20 or 22, but it's hard to fit an odd number of teams. 11 if you go to 22. So here we are with the 24 team. And then now it's to be determined where are they going to play these games. Are they going to do 2 hub cities? Are they going to do, is every team going to get to play home playoff games in their own cities once they get to the 16 round? Who knows? They're still trying to figure that aspect out.
I like the thought of, and I'm not an NHL player or an NHL player's family, I like the thought of them all being sequestered in areas. I don't know why. I just like the thought of Sidney Crosby potentially sitting in the crowd watching another team play. You know, like I think that's a big part of March Madness. Now, obviously the big games, their fans are there, but whenever there's like an empty arena and you got 2 teams playing and they're like maybe the Duke kids are watching the game or something, and then like I think that's a cool thing because it's like back in the day, like AAU. It's like double A. No, what is it? Single A. No, what do they do in high school? They go do junior B, junior.
Junior B. High school hockey, juniors.
Yeah, like I think that is a cool thing that could potentially happen. I'm not an NHL player. I'm not an NHL player's family who probably do not want that. Like, oh, you want me to go move to Edmonton for how long? These are best of 5s and best of 7 series. What's that? 2 months? You want me to live in Edmonton? My family's down here in Pittsburgh, the greatest city on earth. Indianapolis. What do you want me to do? I don't know what to do. That is what I would like to see. I assume the NHLPA is voting on that today, what they'll be willing to do, what they wouldn't be willing to do, and they're going to get something done. But it feels like the NHL now has a real plan. NBA has a plan. The MLB has a long road, but it feels like the NHL has an actual plan that seems like they can get an actual vote in. And with that many people, you'll be able to test the people. If you keep them sequestered, you're off and running. Here we go.
I had a question for you guys. I didn't see, how come the Detroit Red Wings aren't in the 24 team?
I'll tell you why.
Let's go Blackhawks.
When you're from Hockey Town, you don't play for COVID Cups. You only play for Stanley Cups, all right? So that's why the Wings are on there. Credit the Wings for tanking during a season and getting that first pick for a season that does not count.
Foxy, Detroit was Hockey Town when they were playing with rubber gloves on their hands and
helmets,
just like basketball back then. Watching basketball today when Detroit was Hockey Town. No one cared, and they're not Hockey Town anymore, Fox.
I get
They're
it.
not.
I get it. Everyone wants to be Hockey Town, but there's only one, and it's in Detroit, Michigan.
No, it's
Google
not.
it
The
right
guy,
now.
the guy yelling in the back there with the bidet on his head or whatever the hell it is, is what is that thing called? A beret, yeah, a beret on his head. Boston Bruins are currently the number 1 seed in the league. Right?
The best team in hockey.
Yeah, they were.
But they have to play now for the top 4 seed. The Bruins, by the way, very good at hockey.
Unbelievable.
But all you got to do in this format is what Nick was scared of, is run into a hot goalie. Like, for instance, the Canadians, number 12 here. Not a great team. Not a great team.
No, but Carey Price is the best goalie in the NHL, and that worries me. That frustrates me because if he gets hot in a best of 5, which is unusual compared to the best of 7, who knows what can happen?
And I would assume that this is why the NHL players are calling it the COVID Cup, because this isn't real. Like, anybody could be coming off of this thing a little bit rusty. Maybe somebody comes in hot. You have no idea who has a pond in the back, been living up in Manitoba up there, Saskatoon. You don't know what's going to happen at this point. But I like the fact that they have an actual plan that they need to figure out and decipher.
There was a lot of contention, like I said, over the 24 versus 22, because if they would have went with 22, the Canadians and the Chicago Blackhawks would not have been included.
Well,
Let's go, Blackhawks! Black Hawk Don. Trademark. That's a movie.
Black Hawk Down? It is, actually, isn't
I
it?
can't say
Great
that,
movie.
actually.
It's a sad movie, isn't it? Kind of a
very
Oh, yeah.
Well,
The ending's nice.
well, just like the Blackhawks, by the way.
Oh, come on! Come on!
Good news on the flip side, the Penguins could get your buddy Jake Gensel back in June.
Hey.
Young Sniper's coming back.
Potentially, yeah.
Here we
Shoulder
go.
surgery.
He's supposed to come on a show one time, didn't come on, so to hell with him. But he's very good at hockey.
He's busy.
He's very busy. He was also like 12 years old at the time when he has to come on.
Is Ovi in the country right now?
He's the best. Ovechkin, by the way, has been sniping bottles on top of hockey nets for probably, I don't know, the entire quarantine, if I had to guess. Ovi's coming out of this thing better than ever. But
That's what I'm saying. You think he's the United States, though?
Sidney Crosby, yeah, because if you leave, I don't think.
You can't leave.
Sidney Crosby, though, he might be in Canada. We don't know, but I don't think he went back to Russia. Sidney Crosby, though, has been skating from pond to pond in Canada this entire quarantine. He's coming back a better skater somehow, which he's already the best skater in the league. He's coming back with better vision because he's been dodging mooses all Canada, all quarantine on his skates. And he's coming back determined to win the COVID Cup, just like he won, which I hate him for it, the Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was tough.
The golden goal.
It's a backhander, too. I mean, it's just classic Sidney Crosby. That's why he's got that flat-ass stick, so he can make me and him both use a flat-ass stick. Me, because I don't know if I'm a lefty or a righty. Him, because he just wants to be able to do backhand stuff with his friends.
Yeah.